have the document right here. It is duly marked up, and like you said, this is highly anticipated. We've been waiting for this for quite some time, and this plan does make a lot of promises, and the big question now is really, can the Department of Correction deliver on them? It was a silent march demanding justice for those detainees on Rikers Island. 20 lives have been lost there in 2021 and 2022. Just an hour or so later, the city filed its proposed Rikers action plan in federal court, a 26-page document that is supposed to detail how the Adams administration is going to turn the troubled jail complex around. It promises to get to tackle the department's staffing crisis, where hundreds of correction officers call out sick daily and hundreds more are on medically modified duty. The plan says it will revise its policies and procedures regarding sick leave and absence control within 90 days. If this plan is approved by the court within 60 days, the Department of Correction promises to eliminate the abuse of a status known as medically modified duty. It's promising a leadership reshuffling with new deputy commissioners who could have the duties typically assigned to uniformed chiefs. This whole plan is an attempt by the city to stave off federal receivership, which the U.S. Attorney's Office and some advocates have suggested is necessary.
The fear is, and as Stan said, none of us have faith. The communities, the family members, the mother, no one has faith because we've seen nothing from anybody.
What was clear in the court filing, the city's federal monitor in charge of overseeing the jail complex may want to give the city another chance. He wrote, "An opportunity still exists for the city and the department to exercise their respective authority in overcoming these obstacles. If they commit, utilize, and dedicate aggressive, vigorous, and creative strategies to the problems facing the agency. That may be a tough sell to those who have lost loved ones in the city's jails, like Lysandra Cadu, who lost her son while he was in custody last year."
What else do you guys need to hear and see? Like, how much more brothers like me do you guys need to see? Until God forbid it's Eric Adams' family member or the DLC son? When is somebody gonna do something?
And that is heartbreaking to watch. We should note her son's name was Stefan Cadu. He was 24 years old. He served time on the barge and he died of meningitis last year. And Errol, in other Rikers Island news today, believe it or not, there was another court decision in Bronx Supreme Court where a Bronx judge found the city in civil contempt. And they found the city in civil contempt because they failed to get detainees on Rikers Island in December and January to medical appointments. And what will happen now is the city will have 30 days to try to remedy that and actually get detainees to the medical appointments that they need to get to. And if they fail to do that, then they will have to pay $100 for every missed medical appointment during that time period.
Right. This is something we've reported on before, that for a period of months, really years during the pandemic, people could not reliably get to the doctor for things like, heart disease or get their prescriptions filled, that sort of a thing.
Yeah, and it's quite stunning. Just, the piece ended with obviously that heartbreaking, tearful testimony of that mother, and her son died on the barge. He was on the barge and he ended up being transferred to a hospital, but he died from meningitis, which is a viral infection that is typically prevented. So all those attorneys, all those advocates there today were talking about this decision in the Bronx. Meanwhile, the Rikers plan was coming out. But this decision in the Bronx could have been relevant in that case. Perhaps if he had received appropriate medical care, maybe things would have turned out differently.
Did the monitor even allude to some of his earlier reports where he talked about how the brokenness of the system included an inability to even capture the data or take the first steps toward remediating the problems?
He did, and I think that's in the Rikers action plan. For instance, I know we've talked obviously extensively about the staffing issues, and the monitor in the past have talked about even the staffing databases and tracking system of staff are completely inadequate. That there's one database that says a correction officer is assigned to the North Infirmary Command, and then another database says something completely different, like they're assigned to OBCC or something like that, that they're completely at odds. And as part of the plan, the monitor is saying, okay, you're going to need to get some real 2022 tracking software for your staff. But in terms of the tone of this letter today, this plan is about 26 pages from the Department of Correction detailing what they want to do, and then it's about 11 pages from the Federal Monitor talking about what the city wants to do. And it was definitely a change in tone. You didn't necessarily hear what you heard from the Monitor in March, where they were saying it's a humanitarian crisis and it's unbelievable that the department is doing this. They're basically saying, the monitoring team is saying, that they're kind of getting cooperation from the city now, and there's perhaps confident, I don't know if I would use the word confident, but they think that maybe the administration can turn things around.
Okay, thanks very much, Courtney. We're going to take a short break now. When we come back, President Biden paid his respects